Hello, YouTubers. Dr. Dickey here. I wanted to give an update on the antenna. I haven't done anything for a long time because I've been working on a project for putting my house on a solar system, which I've got it on there now, and that's on another channel. You can go to Dr. Dickey's Do-It-Yourself Powerwall, and that explains the whole progress of what I've been doing. But I am getting back to the antenna. We're getting into September, which means fall is coming, which means the radio is going to be much more active, so I'm ready to get back into the radio. So I wanted to show you a couple of changes. One is I have changed it from using the tent poles that I had, the big thick tent poles. I've gone to something that is much easier to put up. Now remember, the purpose of this for me was to make something I could put up or take down based on storms approaching, because I live a few blocks from the ocean, and so I need something that I can put up and take down fairly easily. And this is the old, of course, tent pole stuff that was huge and very heavy, and I got it to work, but it was very cumbersome and very difficult, and I didn't feel that it was easy enough for me to do what I wanted to do. And remember, this is all based on Callum over in England, his DX Commander idea of a multiband vertical that has just multiple antennas. So what I've switched it over to, and what I have a lot of, is to a Clansman portable radio antenna. And with the Clansman, actually, let me get it to where the sun's not shining right into it. The Clansman actually, to make it the full length, you can put the whip antenna on the very top of that antenna. But this is much lighter, this is much easier. It's very simple for me to get this up and down. And a couple of changes. One of the changes that I just did, and I'm in the process of doing, is I used to have a drive plate, just like Callum has for his DX Commander. And then I thought to myself, you know, do I really need a drive plate? Couldn't it be just as good if I just hooked it to a, I think they call them Julienne clips, we call them hose clamps here. If I just hooked it to a hose clamp like that, why wouldn't that work? Well, it turns out it does. In fact, I just did the SWR on everything, and SWR came in fine on everything. Obviously, I have to do a little bit better connection than that, but I mean, that's basically all it needs to be, because they all come together into a central point. And rather than pulling them over to one side of the antenna, I thought it would be better if I put them into a central point, but they were still separated out the way they are. And so that's what I've done. And like I said, there's a contest going on this weekend, and last night, I don't stay up very late. I'm usually in bed by 8 o'clock. And so I was doing a little bit of the contest, and I had contacts in the Slovak Republic, Poland, Chile, all over just like normal. So the antenna is working absolutely fabulous. It's every bit as good as my old off-center fed dipole that I used to have up, but it doesn't take up nearly as much space. It's just right here, except for, of course, the ground plane. So that's what I wanted to give you an update on. Obviously, like I said, I have to clean up the way these connect. I just kind of unscrew that hose clamp and then put it in there and crank down on them. But, I mean, as long as they're making a connection, they're all connected to a center point, they're all connected. So, you know, if I had a ring, which is probably what I'm going to try and find, see if I can find a ring that will fit around that, just a ring, and I can screw into it and then connect them to that ring. That's really all I need. The only reason I'm doing this is that these plates that I did, I made them out of, I got aluminum plates. These are 1/8" aluminum plates. Well, I live a few blocks from the ocean, and so even though this thing is aluminum, it just oxidizes like crazy, and I can barely undo these thumb screws and stuff because of the oxidation. So I'd much rather have something that's stainless steel. And then I thought about it. I said, well, okay, I can get stainless steel plates, and I do have some coming. But in the end, why do I need that whole plate? I don't need a whole drive plate. It just has to come together to a central point. Why not do it like that? And it does seem to work. So I'll try to get something that's a little bit cleaner and nicer worked up. And when I do that, I'll bring you back and let you know how it's going. Otherwise, it's working really well. I don't have any complaints. Like I said, this pole is so easy, I can just pick it up with one hand. Even with the guys on, I can just pick it up and do things with it. So it works a lot better. Alright, so okie dokie. Thanks for watching, and I'll bring you back in when I have an update.